Hello everyone, welcome to Just Invest Today, and today we are talking about Palantir. Yes, the CEO came out and said he hates Wall Street. He hates the short-sightedness of Wall Street. And guys, this is a perfect example of what's happening in the market. And this is what I kind of preach on this channel about, maybe like focusing on the investor psychology and the market psychology and how people think, because that's how we can take advantage of all the ups and downs in the market. So let's get into Palantir. So Palantir is basically a big data analytical type of company that actually uses its analytical um, technology to actually make better decisions for companies and for governments. So this business was founded in 2003. Palantir has built an impressive platform that provides sophisticated AI and machine learning models for customers. The original focus was on top secret activities such as finding terrorists or enemies on the battlefield. So that's the Gotham section of Palantir. They had a Gotham section which focuses on all that government activity and helping counter terrorism. They actually help with fraud, stuff with government officials, right? And then they have Metropolis, and that's just focused with like more like hedge funds and more those financial institutions to help them make better decisions, make better analytical processes. Um, and then what do they have? Founder, which is more kind of like the corporate route. So they work with all those like big corporations to help them with decision making, basically, right? But the thing with Planeteer is they have to compete on the Foundry, which is more access to commercial like players. Like they want to hit those commercial markets. They're gonna have to battle with Microsoft, Alphabet, Google, IBM, Accenture, like all of these companies. And that's the problem that probably Planeteer might face into the future. That they gotta battle with these companies, right? So the last quarter does point out the challenge with Palantir. While the government revenue soared 85% to 190 million, but the problem is the a 4% increase for commercial segment to 132 million. And that's the issue because how much government spending is going to go forward? We know the government's already spending a lot of money now, but how much is that going to continue into the future? People are trying to look for Foundry as a one to actually um, make booms into the market because they can't just depend on um, the government spending to help propel this company into the future. They gotta look at more market segments because you remember guys, companies want that diversity. Because what if the government stops spending 1 year or 2 years? That spending goes down because the government's spending more money this year. Palantir's company is going to be affected greatly. So, but what I really like is what the CEO came out and said. It's actually perfect. So even though Palantir's technology has been beating estimates, people are still kind of on the cusp of what to do with it because the growth has been going crazy. The revenue growth is really good, but how long can that sustain itself if it's not just hitting the government, if it's not depending on that government spending to get this company rolling into the future? It needs to build up Foundry, which works with commercial segments to actually generate those revenues into the future because they don't want to be people in the market are looking at Palantir trying to be like a more of a diverse company in its revenues, right? So look what the CEO came out and said, and this is what I want to like kind of put my head to because this is very important in today's market.
The data software company has been under scrutiny long before its public debut back in September, with questions surrounding the company's secrecy and path to profitability. I asked Palantir co-founder and CEO Alex Karp for his take on investor speculation and short-termism.
We're in this for the long haul. If you are speculating or you are, or you're thinking about the short term, there are plenty of other things to invest in. We're building the company we believe in. We're going to do it for the long haul. There'll be ups and downs. My lawyers won't let me say more than that, but it's obvious. And if you want something else, It's a huge world. Buy some other stock. You don't have to buy Palantir. No one's forcing you.
Look at
We're
that.
completely liquid. Do something else.
Joe, if we do get rates up to 1 point,
Look at that. Holy. This just sums it up, guys. He's saying, get the hell out of my company if you're short term focused. And, guys, that's what the market is today. People are highly short term focused. And this brings me actually comfort with the CEO saying this because with long term focus, with long term vision, this is going to build this company up for the future profits, guys, right? So we want these companies, we want CEOs to be saying this stuff because that's what's going to generate the decades of profit into the future. Because we know the market right now is going to go through its ups and downs. People are going to go in and out of the company, right? And that's all, the whole part of like the auction driven markets that people can bid in and out and they can spend their money however. But when the company has a long term focus, it's a huge positive for the company. And guys, Warren Buffett talks about this all the time, and that's why he was so that's why his stock price was so high, and he never really wanted to cut down the Berkshire Air shares because it reduces the amount of people are just trying to willing like you can't because majority of people who are long term focused are willing to put in 50,000 to buy one stock. But if you're not if you're not long term focused, you wouldn't spend that much money on just one stock, right? You would just go in and out with like if the stock was at like $20. And the funny thing about this too is that the CEOs of the companies that he's talking about benefited from this huge share price appreciation. These guys actually benefited from the retail investors. So it's kind of funny that he's complaining about them when he's actually his partners benefited from them. Cuz this stock went from $9 to like $45, guys, right? And then now he's complaining because there's a sell and like look, he benefited from this, right? Uh yeah, like so like Stephen Cohen deposed of 3.8 million shares, right? And the chief legal and business affair Ryan Taylor deposed of 190,000 shares. So they're benefited from this huge stock appreciation just because of the name of the company and the people, the CEOs behind it. Like Peter, like Peter's a huge, he was a huge CEO. Like, so it's funny that he's complaining about it, but his CEO friends and people who run the company benefited from this huge stock price appreciation. So it's interesting that how he complained about it, but still, this is kind of like a positive sign for the company that he is thinking long term. That's the main positive, guys. But this just goes back to the theory of guys. You can't follow the crowd, man. You got to make your own theses about this company. Where do you see this company going, guys? Like, where do you see this company going in 10 years? You got to make your own thesis about this company and where you see this company. That is that is the most key thing, guys, because what you're seeing in the market right now, the sell off, the tech sell off, and then the Plantier sell off, people they don't have really confidence in the company, or they just thought that it was gonna keep outperforming, right? But if your thesis is strong and you see this company going further into the future with making huge profits, then guys, don't worry about this short term sell off. Look to what the CEO is saying is that he's trying to build a healthy company and don't worry about the retail investors going in and out the stock. And that's the kind of mindset you want to have. You want to have a mindset of an owner of the company. So that is very key with this whole planning tier stuff. But my issue with planning tier is, guys, they have huge competition. There's so much competition in these segments. So that's my only issue with planning tier is just there's the competition with planning tier is just mind blowing because to get into the all the big data analytics when Google has its head start, Microsoft, man, all these companies like companies that are actually just they're just made for all this big data analytics like it's gonna be a hard chugging if it's trying to go, not just the government is trying to use Foundry to get all those commercial players into the market and get them to have to spend money with Palantir. So I don't know where I see this company. I love what the CEO has said. It makes me want to invest in the company, but I don't know about the future of this company with so much competition from all these big data analytic companies, guys. So tell me what you guys think about the future of Planeteer. Is the CEO right? Do you see this company making big recoveries into the future, being going back to $40 a share? Tell me what you guys think. If you like this video, if you please like it, subscribe to my channel, and I'll get back to you in the next video. Peace.